Tamam, buraya gidiyor. Certo, perché siamo This was an hour. Okay. So each one you get some breaks. Vasugi or Janani, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Great. We're just trying to get, we're just waiting for Devakani. What if we put them into recontact the loops? Yeah. But that will just ask for it to get and put the question in front of her. Okay. I think the boundary is artificial. That's what I feel like. It's partially because I know. Yeah. What becomes systems, right? Yeah, what things. Do you like to improve? Do you like to talk to other people, or do you like to prepare somebody? So maybe this kind of, Yeah, well, yeah, what the county, and maybe on top of, because it's a delivery system, kind of, and if you, like, if we need to talk about the future. Yeah. It's if we get a marker, I can do a quick diagram. They get the concept. Integrate. Yeah. She's a commenter. Yeah. I don't know whether she comes before or after. So shall we frame it? Put the question. Yeah. Then listen and then invite you. Maybe that would be the. Is that us? Yeah. So we can also on the board. The idea that the draw would be framing on the let them for like let's get the share, then who will be the commenter on.
right. Have a seat, please. This is not going to be a regular session where you will have several talking heads. We will talk for a little bit, but you will be talking. So that is really important because we want you to invite you to share your thinking, your knowledge with us. And let's co-design together, co-create together what should be the future of delivery systems. And I will pass the microphone to my colleague, John.
Okay, I'm just waiting for pen. To illustrate about the delivery systems. So welcome everyone. Can I just get an idea? Hands up, everyone who can understand me. Okay, so there's a few people whose English is not so good. So I'm going to do I've got a diagram now, so I hope that helps. Do I have any good English speaker who is willing to maybe give a bit of translation? Just like to read out the things that I put up on the diagram. But no, but between you, if you can, yeah, just to help everyone so that we can follow each other, that would be great. Okay, so I'm going to do a diagram here about a systems approach to delivering education. It's based on work that I did with the Commonwealth countries, so 50+ countries with ministers of education. So it's kind of like a fairly straightforward, this is the system of support that you need to deliver education. But then next to it, I'm going to do another diagram, which is about the principles for planetary leadership and planetary systems. And it's that diagram that I then want us to explore a little bit more in terms of our discussions and working groups. It'll be simple with straightforward headings, but I hope it'll promote some discussion. Ultimately, it's about thinking about we're in a very new era, lots of challenges that we all face, whether it's climate change, pandemics, AI, wars, all of these things are problems for all of us. And we need an education system that provides the skills to be able to do that. And one of the key ways to think about strengthening systems is to learn from the planet. So to learn how does the planet work? The ecological systems, because the planet has evolved over millennia, it knows how to work. Humans are stumbling around describing systems in maybe quite naive ways, and maybe that's why our systems don't work very well. So what I'm proposing is that we learn from the planet to create planetary systems that inform how we deliver things like education. Okay, if anyone wants to try and describe that to colleagues, feel free. But I'll try and do a little diagram here to make it a bit easier to follow. Okay. So education. So delivery system. Well, do you want to chat whilst I'm scribbling, or do you want to say anything whilst I'm scribbling, or okay? So this is a systems-based framework that's for education, but it's also for you can see them as system enablers for any number of systems. So this is quite useful to think about when in a work setting, what are the kind of key system enablers that help you deliver something? Okay, and at the top, you've got governance. Okay, and what I mean by governance, that means like you have to have the right laws in place, educational laws that mean that you even go to school, for example. That needs legislation. You need policies. Is it free? Does it cost? Who delivers it? So policies and plans, all of this comes under governance, but also how good it is. What's the quality of it? And how, who monitors the grades and the processes. So a lot of things come under governance, including funding. So, and you can see that's relevant for education as it is for health or urban design or anything that you might be thinking about as a system that you're delivering. And the other part of the systems enabler is knowledge. You need good information, facts, evidence, what actually works. You want to be teaching things that are useful but actually work. Is it effective in terms of the teaching style, the pedagogy? And when you're thinking about the curriculum, what are you covering? What's in there? That's a huge amount. Just one word, but it covers a massive amount. Okay? And then you've got here advocacy. I spelled it right, probably not. Okay, so this is things like how do you communicate? Are you empowering? So this again links more with the pedagogy, the teaching styles. It ties in with leadership as well. And what are you advocating for? Education for all, for example, open access education. And then here you've got capacity. Capacity is not just individual capacity, like the skills and abilities to do things, but it's the capacity of an institution or of a sector. So if you're organising a delivery system at national level or global level, whichever, you need to think, what's your capacity? What's your infrastructure? Do we want to build schools? Or are we thinking about capacity of schools beyond walls? So therefore we need digital capacity. So you can think about capacity in lots of different ways, but ultimately you need the ability to do something. So this is the essence of a delivery system when I talk about delivery systems. And then the contents, you can make that up depending what sector you're working with. So for schools, for education, you could have a life course perspective, different sectors of age, or you could make it multi-sector, transdisciplinary, for example. So that's kind of like the content more. And then what I want to move next to, because I don't want to take up all the time talking, but this is just like the nuts and bolts of thinking about what do we mean by delivery systems. This is what planners might be thinking about. The other key bit here as well, under capacity, is thinking about what workforce skills do we need for the future. So there's often a mismatch between what schools and universities teach and what the jobs actually need. So this is actually quite important, workforce planning and aligning the planning to make sure we've got the right capacity for the jobs. So that's kind of, yeah, that's a 101 of delivery systems, nuts and bolts. But now I want us to start thinking about what do we need for the future? We've got planetary challenges, okay? And we need planetary systems and planetary leadership to help us overcome those challenges and to create the sort of future that we want going forwards. We can apply this in terms of thinking about the actual delivery, but what I want to share with you at the moment now just is an outline of principles for planetary systems and ultimately planetary leadership. So we can think about that. Welcome, Gary. In terms of 6 key areas. And from these, I'm hoping, Pavel, you might want to speak to some of this as well, but we'll break out into different groups. So I want you to start thinking about what the pillars might be. So I'll just put here, so planetary principles, I'll put. So these are principles that help govern planetary systems that I've obviously kind of made sound a bit more in language that humans can understand, but it's based on ecological principles, and it helps us guide what we're thinking about in terms of leadership principles, but also how do we shape delivery systems. And this might help you also think a bit more big picture about what type of delivery system principles do you want to be applying in your own learning going forward. You're students now, but you're students for life. Okay, it doesn't just stop here. And it's, you know, learning will change across your whole life. So it's a way to be thinking much more sort of about the concept of the purpose of learning as well. So I've just got keywords. So the first one is future. Okay, so it's basically future focused. It looks to making decisions that are based on the future well-being of all. So you make decisions based on how's this going to affect not just me tomorrow, but everyone on this planet going forward. Your children, your grandchildren. How does that decision affect that? So, and that's like a really key aspect, I think, of planetary well-being going forward. And the goal of that is ultimately about what I call planetary well-being. And then, oh, sorry, to counter that, at the bottom, you've got fair. And that ultimately is about how you make decisions that are based on fair decision-making processes, that it's values-based, that it shares, it's collaborative. I need some water, actually. Does anyone want to speak? Sorry. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So it's all about delivery. What are they delivering? Who's delivering? To whom are they delivering? And how are they delivering? Isn't it? So what are they having? Okay, some knowledge. Initially, maybe through sign language, then through words in the language, then through books, then CDs, then pen drives, now in the iCloud, and then now they. And what is going to be next? Can we think something above AI? Generative AI, and then version this, version that. What else could be? I've seen one more model also from India. So just keep seeing you, we can transfer the knowledge to you. Not me, some people have done. So it can be like human brain can become so good, they can derive universal knowledge. So the delivery can be in so many ways. Are you ready? Yeah, why don't you give?
Yeah, no, sorry, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So one maybe point to add, I like this concept on the delivery, data-driven insights when it comes to AI. It depends upon the receiver, no? How you can receive, how many of you can understand me? Like, how many of you are able to follow me? The language, English is fine, no? Okay. So what are you and what is your capacity? Whether you understand the language in which we are teaching, or whether you are comfortable with the speed in which we speak, whether you're comfortable with the accent, There are so many things. Are you a visual learner? Are you, what percentage of you is a auditory learner? What percentage of you is like kinesthetic? How many of you are like, oh, don't talk, don't come in front of me, maybe come in Zoom. I understand you better there. Not in, no, earlier we used to say, no, one-on-one, we are going in person and then teaching. Now some of my students are saying, ma'am, meet you in Zoom. There I understand you more. How many of you feel like that? You like them online? Raise your hands. Only one. Yes, you want to see your lecturers here in person. Yeah. How many of you want to learn only through games? Some online games with which I can understand. No. How many of you like personal lectures? You want the lecturer to be here? Yes. How many of you do not want to stay in Istanbul? You want to globetrot and learn? Let the delivery model be very flexible. Let me go anywhere and learn. How many of you are like that? Good. So that's what the delivery system. How many of you, maybe some people cannot listen here, cannot see? We also need to think about inclusivity. Isn't it? Some only want audio, some only want video, some only want some model to work and learn. So these are all the things. So let's see in the working model. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be brief because my voice won't hold up much longer, but just to outline the rest of the planetary principles. So future focused, a key part of it is about security and safety. So we need to make sure that we work in safe environments and we feel safe to be able to learn, for example. And we can look at that from human security individually and within our communities, within our countries, but also within our planet. So ultimately about planetary security. Then we can think about systems as a key part of the principle, which is ultimately about planetary coordination. It's taking a systems-based approach, transdisciplinary, for example, multi-sector. And then we've got diversity, the importance of diversity. Yeah.
I know we can never.
Yeah, I'm just nearly finished, Gary.
The idea is to not a particular concept, but to talk about pedagogy. This is.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'll just finish this and then
We'll go and then we'll.
Delivery
all right, so diversity is about making sure you're learning from all sources of wisdom, for example, from every part of the planet. Everyone's voice counts. And that again affects pedagogy, for example, and delivery systems and the way it's taught. But that then enables planetary resilience if every voice is included. And then we need dynamic styles as well. Dynamic styles includes innovation, for example, to act as a catalyst for change. And I call that planetary intelligence, that we're basing our innovation and our knowledge systems based on how the planet actually works. And then we talked about fairness already. Okay, I've said plenty enough. I'm going to hand over to Pavel, who's going to lead the interactive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, now let's turn to you. So we would like to maybe form several groups here. So let's say, can you sit together? Maybe you can sit together and you can divide into two subgroups. Can you move to each other closer because you have these movable chairs? Okay, and you're going to, so I don't know to what extent you understand what delivery system is. I think it's a complex idea. So what we're going to ask you is about two things. One is actually what you already asked. How do you like to learn? How do you like to learn today? What helps you learn today? Do you like to learn from teachers, or do you like to learn with your friends? Do you like to learn from internet? Do you like to ask ChatGPT? What is your preference? So first question is, find what is your preferred way of learning in the group, okay, in the discussion. And second question, if you think about the future, maybe for yourself in 10 years, things change. What would you like to see for your younger friends, maybe for your children? What kind of learning will be the best for them? So what would you like also to see in the future in university like this? Okay, 2 questions. What do you like? How do you like to learn now? What would you like to see in the future? Did you understand my question? Yeah, is it clear? Can you help me? Okay, did everyone understand the question? This question? Can you think about it and discuss in the group? So please get into the group in the circle. Can you form a circle? I'll put the question here. So start by asking, sharing, how do you like to learn? Maybe 1 or 30 seconds or 1 minute per each of you. Please get into circle with each other. I think let's keep 5 minutes recording back because basically the whole space was taken. We have only 10 minutes, so let's use the productively. Okay.
They're also not very used to the kind of group work flowing and actually discussing themselves. Yes, challenging for them to move to this way of working.
Yeah, I didn't know what they mean. I mean, it looked like lecture based. They look like ethical,
Well, we'll get something.
yeah, get something. I mean, is it when you can look at their hand and say, that's what you want to but then the thing, say, you know, like,
All right, we have 5 minutes remaining, so start discussing the question, how do you want people to learn in the future? So think about that. And I'll ask each group to say something about it. So please prepare maybe 2 or 3 ideas and one person who will share them, okay?
It's outside.
send me a bit more explain how you're saying, send me more, about how you busy education.
Well, I wrote 5 reports about this, so I can share some of those with you. Yeah, it's more than just like I can briefly say a few words, but so one key word that we use in our work is learning ecosystems. And learning ecosystems are networks of learning opportunities that would include the existing institutions as well as many other providers, including things we don't do in education. So that in the future we can see education happening literally everywhere.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do we train and how do we recognize it, which I think is where we need to more. I think the more we have this system that supports the distributed kind of recognition and learning moments, learning experiences, in tools such as blockchain, the more that happens seamlessly. But there are like lots of learning systems right now. Then, of course, we talk about lifelong learning and life-wide learning, because it shouldn't only focus on professional, every aspect of human being. So also learning is holistic. And of course, part of the story is also they can contextualize in this. This happens in the age of AI. So humans will need to find their new, in a way, new purpose or rediscovered purpose, which means that we are no longer, the idea that we will compete with AI. I don't think that's productive. I think we need to find ways to complement AI. Our uniqueness is in those relational, our ability to empathize, our ability to perceive the world in its complexity and so on. All of those things we need to cultivate, which calls for much more, let's say, holistic ways of learning. And also not only problem oriented, but I think more than that. So it's kind of a problem and discovery oriented. and experience-based and project-based, so various formats. Of course, it's not the only one, but the idea is that we kind of mix these various ways of learning into personalized and connected learning journeys. Happen throughout lifetime, so you can think of, path after path, say, going through this network of routes. Yeah. And then you can discover your own, create your own trail. So that's a very brief answer. There's a lot about like what needs to be learned, how it learned, what are the models, what is the role of existing institutions, what is the role of platforms, what is the role of personalized technologies, so on and so on. Yeah, but I feel like we also need to emphasize that a lot of what we think is the future of education still carries this paradigm of specific relationship between educators and kind of learners embedded in power structures in a way even the language same train. Yeah, it already involves a specific
All right, 30 seconds to complete. Find who will say a few words from your group. And all right, let's start. Who is the bravest one? Who can share first? You want to go? Which question? There is a joke. What color is the textbook? Yeah. Okay. The question is, when you discussed about the ways you like to learn, and I hope you also spoke about how you want to see this in the future. So, what was the idea that was like you heard in the group? What was the main idea about how you want to learn in the future?
It depends on your field that you're studying. For people that do medicine, they sometimes prefer face-to-face interaction and interacting with the lecturer. But for someone doing something like software engineering, it could be easier to do it online, and there's more flexibility in that. So it depends on the field, I think. And the second question, should I answer? Yeah. The second question, I think the future of teaching and giving information, right? That's the thing. I don't believe that you can really change the way that people are taught that much. You can help younger students learn how to learn and make their learning more efficient, but transferring information, I don't think there's much that can be changed in that.
So you think it will be similar to how you learn today, right?
Yeah, and how we've been learning for the past 10 years.
Okay, thank you.
So depending, for the first question, just in our group, we have different ideas about what we would like our system to be or our type to be. One of them said it should be more enjoyable. One of them said it depends on the situation or the type of education. Shouldn't be only online or just face-to-face. And I think maybe we agree it should be a hybrid, basically a bit of this, a bit of that, depending on the subject, depending on what you're studying. For the second question, mainly it should focus on solving future problems. In the same way, it should be using future, how would you say, like types of education. So in the future, now we have AI, we have virtual, we have video calls. So in the future, there might be even better systems, and we can use those systems in a way that will benefit us, I think.
Thank you.
Yes. Take it. Oh, yeah, okay, about the delivery system, I feel like it depends, like I told her, like it depends on the person. If a person understands physical lectures better, then that works for them. But if they understand like the whole AI stuff, then that is also good for them. But for other people, like myself, I feel like a combination of all doesn't hurt. Like it's good, it's better that way because there's some stuff like, yeah, sure. And like, there's some stuff that you would not understand in the class. You can go back home and like ask ChatGPT or like search it up on YouTube or some stuff like that. It's also good that way. That's just what I feel. I feel like all of them are good, all of them are important. So basically, I agree with her, but my personal thoughts is that the whole education needs to kind of change in a way that teach us to focus on important things, like actually learning. And even if I want to pursue art, I have to learn art in a way that I could change something, in a way that I could express myself. She said making money is really important. I believe that. Who doesn't like to drive a Bentley? But the important thing is that I have to use my knowledge in order to do something. So focus on the important stuff. If ChatGPT is beneficial for me, let me learn the ChatGPT. But on side of ChatGPT, there needs to be professionals like lecturers, like professors, who have the experience that teach me to focus and learn and make things easy for me because ChatGPT doesn't understand human emotions, but the professor knows how to deliver that subject, knows how to like tell me if the how can like the circulatory system is important. Make it easy for me so I could go home, open a reference book and learn. And I think universities, schools, high schools should focus on teaching, not to just get money and teach me how to just pass my exams with high grade with minimum knowledge. That's the thing that I think education system worldwide should focus on teaching, not getting money from students. That's not.
I think for me, just it's much more better to see my teacher, to see my classmates, and make this, a process more, more maybe, I don't know, actually, maybe closer to each other. We're just trying to understand something together, and trying to understand each other at the same time, and so on. So for me, it's much more better to make it face to face. So that's all.
All right, so thank you very much for a diversity of perspective, but I think we also see some similarity. And one thing that I hear you agree on is that there are very different ways of learning. There should not be one single one, but should be a combination. It should be adaptive, so it should feel what people really need, what is your preferred style. So if we have that flexibility, perhaps in the system, that perhaps is the best. Thank you very much for your sharing. And did you like this exercise? Okay. Do you often have discussions in the classroom like this? I think this kind of practices is also the future of learning, and you yourself need to discover questions instead of just absorbing information. Thank you for that. And do you want to make any final comments?
Yeah, he's
Me? Okay, I just made them. I think I made them by saying that I feel that we have been speaking for 3 days in front of you. You have been silent because that was the design of this conference. That is the design of the system now. I think it should be otherwise. I think you should speak more and we should learn from you. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. Thank you so much. Actually, we're very participative. It's taking some time, but it always happens everywhere around the world. And this topic, delivery, as I was telling, like delivery can be made in a very interesting way. You're all going to be future leaders. Some of you may end up as lecturers, or at least you will be teaching your kids or any kid, okay, on the way, or friends. So some best methods are, getting coming in this. Do a research and then do it like something like blended learning, understanding the students' need. I'm really amazed with one concept of what if your data is fed to the AI, a very good tool, and then nothing wrong. Your data, and then it will assess you. What do you know? What you do not know? Which color you like? What kind of teaching method you like? What is the speed of your understanding? Earlier, how much you have understood? What all you know? What all you do not know? So that all unwanted things will be, like removed, and then whatever you want, it would have been, got delivered in the way you like. Is it not interesting? I once heard like one celebrity's house, like they take the data once you enter the house. And then once you enter, so whatever pictures you like, it will fall on in the walls. And then whatever fragrance you like, it will be there on that house. And whatever you like to drink, it will be delivered to you. And whichever lecture you want to hear during the waiting time, it will be running in the system. Is it not interesting? Like that, whenever you are entering into a classroom, maybe even a bot can do that. Not necessarily a lecture, but whatever you like, in whatever way you like, and then to assess you, and then only again to teach you wherever you're lagging. Is it not interesting? So delivery system can go to that extent. And also we need to think about, this is digital world, but I'm also worried about some people where they are there in downtown, in valleys, where people cannot, not even teachers can go. We have thousands of schools in India and in many other countries where the whole school will have only one teacher, and that teacher also may not be able to go to the school at times because of pregnancy or something. So at those time also, for them also we need to have some delivery models. So think in your mind what best you can create and innovate in this world. Thank you.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
We have the UAPP session in 25 minutes in the main conference hall if you want to attend. That should be a very
So, Shweta, as a rapporteur, do you have some questions or something that you would like to add?
exactly. Because, the next class session is going on here. It's not us.
Would you like to be there for a photo? Come.
Yeah, so university student mobility, you say, and professional mobility, okay. That's a very, very interesting point. Şimdi bizim arkadaş Hindistan'da, kendileri de işte zaten Avrupa'daki olduğu programlar
Самое важное здание.
Yes. Yes, my Wait, we change the question. Yes, yeah, no,
Thank you.
when we did one vertical. For instance. Yeah. No, maybe, just for record purpose, maybe one of the photographs. Please, feel free to show my face, I have an accent, I also paid it very well, thank you. Nice meeting you. So it's lovely, thank you for so much. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you on Facebook?
It's a time to go. Yeah. I was saying like,
The nature that it's hard to like run away, you have to experience money isn't everything, it's really important. One doesn't deserve the luxurious lifestyle, and you have to be assured of being in order to know.
I'm sorry, the name.
What has been my study? No, I'm not doctor. Trying to like tell me. What are you studying? Yes. Yeah, I'm a med student. I work with you. She's a med student.
yeah, I trained as a doctor.
Thank you so much. I hope I could actually make it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, bring on a check, please. Is it okay?
Because we need one person.
There are students.
Yeah, okay.
But don't do everyone. Because you say you're from no, I just one is Are you ready to put out this question?
I'm gonna keep the second language on stage.
What's up? Changing the whole society. Yes. We're on what's that?
Sorry. I'm still part of your generation.
I'm very using the pen and pencil from day to day, actually.